Okay, so now we've got to take the receiver apart. Now, I've watched several videos on YouTube about stripping one of these down, and it is very similar inside to my Crosman 761 XL, which, as you know, I had to do a lot of work on to get that working, and I suspect that the problem with this is exactly the same. It is the seal, which is inside the valve, that actually releases the air into the barrel. And this is one that you do not get a seal for in the seal kit. But with the 761, I was able to find an O-ring from my O-ring kit which fitted, and that worked. So I'm hoping the same thing will happen. This certainly has the same brass cylinder, which is the air compression chamber that the 761 has got. So I am familiar with that and taking that apart. The insides of the receiver are slightly different to the 761, but other than a few springs you've got to be careful of, hopefully it should come apart fairly well. So let's get on and do it. That's a good start. The screw wasn't really tight. I'll put them in order that I take them out, just in case they're different lengths. In my luck they will be. So far so good. A short one at the top there, which is useful to know. And another long one. Okay. So let's see if this will come apart. As I said, the problem is there are springs in here which I really don't want to lose. Right. Let's see if we can lift this side off. And it is coming. There we go. Yeah, I can see one of the springs straight away, which is that one there. There we go. Alright. There we go. So that's that. This is the trigger spring, which that can all stay in there. I don't need any to touch any of that. This little spring here, which did fly out. I know where that goes. That goes in the top here. So that can come out.
You have received a new text message.
There, and we've got to take this little bugger out here, which let's pull. Let me get some pliers. So this little brass piece here. There we go. A little bit. That's all part of the BB feeding mechanism. Which, take that out. And that's the detent which the pump handle locks onto. Hopefully will come out. I see an extra screw in here, which is interesting. So we should be able to pull the pump tube off. Okay, right. So we're not really. Right, that's that bit. We're not interested in this bit at all. This is not. There is an extra screw actually holding this in place, which I've not seen. That wasn't on the other one. So yeah. That's just the magazine tube for the BBs, so that can also be set aside. We don't need to worry about that. That's all fine. What we're interested in is in here. So this should all be. There should be a spring, which there is. There we go. This is all the same as the 761. Then there's the hammer. Right. Basically, when you squeeze the trigger, this shoots forward and hits the valve, which releases the air. So that's all fine. But what we need to get at is in here, which is the brass compression cylinder. So I need to push that out, and it has to come out this way forwards. So, by the way, if anyone is ever, you know, throwing away a flatbed scanner, there's all sorts of useful goodies inside old flatbed scanners. This is a bit of ground rod, which is perfect. I use it for all sorts of things, but you know, this kind of thing, it's ideal. So this should just pop out the end. There we go. Right, and this is the part which is causing all the trouble. This is, yeah, this is the bit. And basically that valve, that gets pushed forward and releases the air through that hole and up into the barrel. There is a seal in a cup on the end of that valve, and that's the bit that goes, certainly on the 761 it did. So this, believe it or not, looks like a solid lump. It isn't. It is in fact two halves screwed together. So I've got to take that apart. Fun. Now this one comes apart slightly differently to the one in the 761. That one splits halfway down the body of the brass air compression tube. But basically the insides are exactly the same. Now you get these two seals in the seal kit, and I will be replacing those. But what certainly on the 761 anyway, is this. Now I don't know how well you can see this, right? But right inside there, that horrible green mucky thing used to be a seal, and that's just crumbling away, which is exactly what it did inside the 761. So I'm going to hoik all that out and replace that with an O-ring, and replace those two and put it all back together, and we should be good to go. Well, I'm not sure what Crosman used for their seal inside inside this all those years ago, but that's what it turns into after about 50 years. I'm not in any way casting aspersions on Crosman. I'm sure they never expected their air rifles to be still going strong 50 years later. So yeah, but that's basically what it's no longer rubber, it's more like a sort of a crumbly material. So anyway, fortunately again, got a little O-ring in there, which I fitted on the 761, and that worked fine. So I need to put a little bit of silicone oil on that, and we can get it all back together. Oh, and I've got to obviously change the two seals on the end there. But yeah, we're pretty much all ready to go back together. So there's the reassembled air chamber with all its new seals in, and hopefully that will solve the problem. So now it's just a matter of putting it all back together. I'm not going to bother filming that because it's obviously just a reversal of what I did to take it apart. So I'll come back when I've hopefully got it back together and working. Well, it was a lot more tricky putting it back together than it was getting apart. It's just fiddly trying to keep everything in place while you push it together. And the other thing is that the crossbolt safety never lines up properly, so you've got to fiddle around with that and trying to get everything lined up and getting it back together. Yeah, not fun, but we got there, and I'm pleased to report it is now fully operational. So yeah, I'm pleased about that. I mean, that's the second Crosman multi-pump I fixed, and I'm getting to know them quite well. Obviously this is very similar to the 761 XL that I restored. So yeah, so what we'll do is I'll get set up and we'll do a bit of shooting with it. Well, not too bad. I haven't had a chance yet to sit down at a table and shoot this gun on a rest, so I can set the sights up. So that's basically just roughly setting the sights up before I started, but those two aren't bad. A little bit of a spread there, but that's not bad. But consistently the same amount of power. You can always tell with these splatterburst targets, you get the same amount of splatter around the hole. So, and that was I was using 8 pumps out of a maximum of 10, I'm well happy with that. That's absolutely fine, and it's consistent and it's holding air, so that's fine. Well, that about wraps it up for the Crosman 766. I do like these Crosman multi-pump air rifles. The fact that you have control over the power output, so if you're shooting indoors over a short distance, you don't need maximum 10 pumps. I want to get this out over my friend's 25-yard range, and we'll see what it can do. But it should be fine even at that range. With give it 10 pumps, it should cope with that, no problem at all. So yeah, and I'm also pleased that I'm getting this one was easier than the 761, because obviously I've never seen inside one of these before. So this was easier, and I'm getting a little bit more confident with stripping them down and repairing them now. So yeah, very pleased with it. Okay, that's it. Hope you've enjoyed the video as always. Thanks for watching. Cheers.